Anti-gun celebs demand armed security at Oscars. Get huge surprise from officers by Al Waisman for freedomdaily.com. This year, attendees of the 2018 Academy Awards show on Sunday will be trying to turn attention to gun violence by wearing an orange-colored American flag pin on their multi-thousand-dollar designer dresses and tuxes. But what they aren't calling attention to is the fact that there will be over 500 armed police officers along with hundreds of armed private bodyguards in order to make sure there are no security issues inside the Oscars. I wonder why. This all comes as Gucci announced earlier this week that it would join anti-Second Amendment celebrities like Oprah Winfrey, George and Amal Clooney, Jeffrey and Marilyn Katzenberg, whoever that might be, and Steven Spielberg and Kate Capshaw in contributing $500,000 to support the March for Our Lives anti-gun violence rally to be held in Washington, D.C. on March 24th. What a crock. What a crock. This is unbelievable. This has to be the most blatant show of hypocrisy ever shown by celebrities, and they have shown a lot in the past few decades. They make millions of dollars in an industry which promotes every sort of violence you can think of. But they think that this will stop by wearing a pin while they spew their anti-gun rhetoric against law-abiding citizens like you and me. So, in other words, what's the Oscars? Propaganda session, right? Are you kidding me? There are no words at this point. What do they care? After all, they have enough money to pay for the kind of security any red-blooded American would want for their family but can't afford, while they live in upscale gated communities where they can leave their doors and windows open 24/7 without even having an issue. In fact, the biggest problem they might have with intruders is a deer once in a while. But for us peons, we have to live without a wall or private security along with people from third world nations, which we aren't even allowed to question their moral character. Can't have any gun more powerful than a musket according to their loony liberal left views. I can't seem to recall any celebrity wearing a pin in honor of Kate Steinle, do you? Who thinks these classless actors would be singing a different tune if they had to live like the rest of us? Because so many cops are needed at the Oscars this year, many officers will be on overtime, and the Academy will have to pay for it. No free rides here. Variety magazine reported more than 500 officers will be on hand, many of them working overtime to ensure the safety of the 90th Academy Awards, along with firefighters, police helicopters, and agents from the FBI. Private security guards from security industry specialists will work inside of the theater. The city of LA bills the Academy of Motion Pictures and Arts and Sciences for security, street closures, and other expenses related to the event. This year will cost is $340,000, up from $300,000 for the last several years. Via Joe for America, we love celebrating the snipers at every NFL game. With the Oscars on tonight, the left is desperate to keep you from seeing all the armed guards protecting their anti-gun actors. If you don't realize the Oscars were on tonight, then congratulations to you. I say that to all of you guys too. You have a healthy relationship with Hollywood celebrities, but one press release from the LAPD is worth browsing before your Facebook feed is updated tomorrow with tales of brave actors crying about the Second Amendment. As traffic in one of the most congested cities in the world is diverted, so millionaires can gather in Hollywood to seek praise from one another, there will be concentric rings of security keeping an eye on nearly 1 mile of Hollywood Boulevard. Officers will be receiving overtime pay and are joined by firefighters and the FBI with police helicopters dotting the air. Oh, and there's a private security detail on full alert in the Dolby Theater itself. The Oscars celebrate their 90th anniversary tonight, and with so many on the left looking to squeeze anti-freedom legislation from the deaths of 17 people from a high school in Parkland, Florida, the hunt is on for which actors will have the gall to rail against guns while being protected by hundreds of them. Guns for me, not for thee. Recently I wrote up Kim Kardashian, whose claim to fame is whoring herself out on a sex tape for attention. A few years back, she was robbed at gunpoint and later declared that she wouldn't have a 24-hour-a-day armed guard. That she would have, a 24-hour armed guard. I don't blame her. Despite being famous for debauchery, she still deserves to be safe. The lefties that rip on guns rights probably feel comfortable in calling for gun control legislation because they must assume that their bodyguards will be one of the few people who will be allowed to keep guns when it's all over. Hunters and sportsmen can lose their guns because they don't need them, not in the same way that celebrities in Hollywood need to be kept safe. Every once in a while a news story pops up showing off pictures of the bird's eye view of the trained snipers keeping an eye on the crowds at NFL games. Conservatives love reading about the sharpshooters in the Oregon-based company U.S. Tactical Supply that supplies the tripods, loves updating their social media with photos. We think it's great that it's well known that NFL games have an eagle-eye sniper up high, making sure any serious troublemaker won't get too far. Security at left-wing award ceremonies, on the other hand, are shunted off to the side. Do they really expect us to ignore the fact that group of highly trained men with firearms waiting in the wings in case something goes wrong? Still, it's a good bet to guess that at least one of these chumps will get into their airhead to pretend to care about the families of the victims of gun violence while dumping on the Second Amendment. Even the pretty dresses are ruined. I admit that I'll watch award shows. I won't. Just to see the pretty dresses, not even no. But even that's been ruined. At the Golden Globes a few months ago, celebrities decided to wear black dresses to protest Harvey Weinstein or something. Yeah, and today I put my pajamas back on, showering to protest the fact that I don't get a pony when I didn't get a pony when I was a little girl. The clothing as politics came to a head last year at the Grammys when Joy Villa wore a MAGA-themed dress and was later found out to be a liar, a former dominatrix, and a current Scientologist who was passing Scientology books to White House VIPs, including Kellyanne Conway. Rose McGowan took us for a ride in her breakdown of the black dress protest as it happened in real time. Makes me long for the days when the shocking award show dresses, including J-Lo's plunging green neckline and the Jork swan, hashtag pay attention to me too. Let's be real, the Oscars is actors giving awards to other actors for acting. It's meaningless and probably the source of the modern participation award handed down to every little girl and boy, unless it's the rare actor that takes the stage to simply thank their family, their colleagues, and God. There is a guarantee that anyone beyond will be politically motivated. Considering the Botox parade has poured praise over Harvey Weinstein in the past, Meryl Streep calling him a god. I'll be tickled to see which talking bobblehead will call out a culture of sexism. And when the ceremony is all over, it's time for the actors to head to the next place they'll all go out to their very well-guarded parties to pal around with other anti-gun lefties before before their bundled butts get back into their limos. They'll be driven to an armed home by an armed bodyguard, only to get up the next day and be superior all over again. I mean, really? They're surrounded. Like, what are they talking about? Look, I'm not into guns and everything else, but people that do, okay. Now you're gonna tell me now Gucci gave $500,000 to this stupid cause? I mean, really? Meanwhile you're flooding our nation with illegals. And listen, criminals don't care about laws. That's why they're called criminals, you see? This makes no sense. And it's a crock. That's all I want to say. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.